So we're all familiar with this story where the nation doesn't have water, and they complain to Moshe and Aaron, and God tells Moshe to take the staff in his hands, but to speak in the eyes of the nation and to bring forth water from the rock. Moshe doesn't listen exactly. He does take the staff, but when he goes to the nation, he yells at them and calls them, "Oh, ye rebels, do not think that we can bring forth water from this rock." And he hits the rock and brings forth water from the rock. And God punishes him, and God says right after that you and Aaron will not be going into the land, do not be bringing this nation into the land, because you did not have faith in me and sanctify my name. Now this is seen as a very grave punishment, and people say, why such a big punishment? And why would God tell him to take the staff if not to use it to hit the rock? Because the last time they didn't have water in the desert, the first time way back when, God told him to bring the staff and to hit the rock, and that's how he brought forth water. So maybe, that was what was meant to be at this time, and why would he be punished for that? But the first time that happened, it was the older generation, the generation that had they've been extremely difficult, extremely contentious. They came yelling at Moshe and Aaron, "You're trying to kill us, you're trying to kill our kids, we want water, give us water." And they were just yelling, and they needed to show the brute force to that bring forth water from the rock. Okay, but this was the next generation. This was a different generation. This is a generation that was matured. This is a generation that when they asked for the water, they called themselves Kahal Hashem, the congregation of God. This was a nation that can be talked to and reasoned with. And what Moshe was supposed to do by bringing the staff and not using the staff, but using his words, is to show, yes, I have the staff. Yes, I have the power to hit this rock and bring forth water the way I did last time. But now we have evolved. We have evolved into a nation that has a greater understanding. Yes, you are Kahal Hashem. You are the congregation of God, a congregation that understands that you can create with your speech. And what greater Kiddush Hashem to show that you have the power of the force to use your hand and the staff of God and hit and create water from the rock. But you don't use it. You don't use that brute force. You make a bigger Kiddush Hashem by using your word, by using the breath of God within, and using your word, adabra kedabra, that you will create as you speak, that God gave us this power, and you can make water come from a rock by using the God within you and speaking. And you can have the staff knowing that you can do it in that difficult, harsh way, but you choose the higher path, the higher way of creating with your words, of creating with the God in you and making a change, making an impossible change. And that's something that the people needed. They needed that message going into the land now where they had so much to do. They were transitioning, and they were going to have to conquer the land and do all sorts of impossible things, and they have to have that representation and that staff of knowing that they always have that power of God, or the power of force to do things in a way that's without words, but they should be doing it on a higher level. They should be doing it with their words and with their creativity, their expression, their way of changing things by speaking it out, and reasoning, and all sorts of ways that you can utilize your power of speech to make a tremendous difference in this world, in making change and creating new things and innovations. And that's the message for our people to always to take the higher ground and to use the God within us to change things for the better. Shabbat Shalom.